Welcome! This is a video tutorial for the first three of the Romanian folk dances by Bela Bartok, arranged for violin and piano by Zelensky. I am doing the first three because I already done a tutorial for the last three dances, and I've been asked several times whether I could also do a tutorial for the first three dances, so that we have a complete set, of course. Each dance is completely different, and I'm gonna spend time on each one of them. But first, let's listen to it, the three of them, one after the other. So that was a recording of the first three of the folk dances. Bartok wrote this piece originally for piano solo, and then he rearranged it also for orchestra, which is, both versions are gorgeous by themselves. And then Zelensky thought, well, let's do a version for violin and piano. Since originally this would have been folk dances from Transylvania in Romania, played either by a fiddle or a little flute. You can hear it in the last one. That sound of the flute, the high-pitched flute. So I think it sounds really good on the violin, and I think it's a great piece to learn and to perform. In fact, I have a full recording of this in a live performance, which I'm gonna link in the description as well. Now let's work a little bit on these three first dances. The first one sounds to me very Romanian in many ways, because Bartok, especially in his music, uses a lot these accent at the beginning of the bar, yadada, which is Hungarian and Romanian kind of theme that comes, I think, originally from the Hungarian language. This accent on the beginning of the bar, yadada, at the beginning of each word, yadada. So it's very important that we accent that. If we do that, we get the character for the piece really precise. So I wouldn't use a lot of bow. Being in the G string, we want to concentrate the sound, making sure that the fingers are really relaxed so that we can go into the string. Staying on the G string sounds nice and earthy. And then we go into the chords. Now, to work on this chord, I always tell my students, work on the chord by itself, and then how to get into it and out of it. So, find the reference, and then the D. Really work on the intonation by itself, and then going into it. That fourth, very important to keep it really in tune, because we're gonna keep hearing in that. That's what is sustained, so it needs to be really in tune. In this case, I keep the first finger down and the second finger, so I only put the third finger on the G string, and then that bit is pretty tricky, so I would really practice it. Go to second position, find, and then the second finger across, first position, so I will practice that second line, the one with the chords, each chord by themselves, and then start linking them together. Same with the next bit. Enjoy the melody. Pizzicato, 2 strings, and then with the left hand the other one. Start a bit softer so that we can get a little crescendo. And then we repeat this second phrase with the chords. Again, this is a very short upbeat. So we need to have the fingers already there, and then we just pop the third finger over. It's possibly one of my favorite chords. It's unexpected and it's really interesting. Each one by itself. Again, we have a perfect fourth. Again. Another one of my favorites. That's a tritone, diminished fifth. harmonics, but just for this one, make sure that the bow is near the bridge and the fingers exactly at the right place, because then the harmonic really comes out. The second one is in F sharp minor. That's the only tricky bit. The other thing is also that is spiccato, it's off the string. So we need to really control the bow off the string and then let it go into the string and out. I would recommend to stay between the balance point and the middle of the bow. Don't go too far. For intonation purposes, obviously do it on the string. Same thing later. I do harmonic and then press the fourth finger. I find it more clear. The bow might need to do 2 accents, a double accent for clarity. 10. Last thing for this second one, and this is the really a pro tip for how to perform it properly. Try to do rubato. Don't just play it straight, otherwise it's a bit boring. Find an interesting way to if you need inspiration, listen to different versions of this, because each performer will have a different idea. If you listen to the orchestral version of this, you'll hear the clarinet, and many of them have very good intuition on how to do this rubato. Finally, the third dance, which is possibly the most difficult to start practicing, because we have the artificial harmonics. Many people find this one really, really hard. And we want to get that really clear sound that a flute would have at the top. Now, how to practice these harmonics? I'll probably do another video on this one day, but just to work on this piece, I would, first of all, this is how I feel it works best for my students, start using only the first finger on each note. D. We need that to be really in tune to start with, because we're going to be using that fingering for these harmonics. And then it's that we need to really work on. And then make sure the thumb and the first finger move together, and they're really easy to move up and down. So this nice and soft. There's nothing gripping the violin. Then the next thing to do, if you've done octaves before, this is really useful. Imagine doing the same thing we just played, but in octaves. Still the same first finger, and using the fourth finger on the next string, in this case the A string. Of course, D and 3. Now you you're gonna be asking why are we doing this? There's nothing to do with the harmonics. But actually, you're using the same fingers that you're gonna be using for the harmonic at the same distance. The only difference is that you're doing it on the wrong string, let's say. But what this allows is to really feel how the octave or the distance between the first and the fourth finger goes bigger and smaller depending if we're down on the string or higher up. So it really accommodates for that difference between the two fingers. You get smaller, bigger, smaller, even smaller. Trust me, the more in tune you can get those octaves, the more clearer sound you're gonna get for the harmonic. 100%. There's no other way to improve harmonic like this. Once we've done this, we do the same, but on the same string. So that is, the first finger obviously is strong on the string, and the fourth finger is doing a harmonic, meaning just barely touching on top of the string. Don't extend the finger, just keep it the same way that you do the octaves, because then you get the right position. You're gonna get a slight hiss, but this, a few rows back, nobody will hear it. So don't worry about that sound. The important thing is that we get the clarity of the harmonic sound. That's gonna go on top of the sound. So once this is in tune and it's exactly right, again, make sure that the bow is near the bridge. If it's near the bridge, we're gonna get that clarity and that projection that we need for these harmonics. Same thing if I play here. You just don't hear anything. It needs to be in this harder bit near the bridge. And with enough bow, quite a lot of bow. You can hear the sound really coming through now. And this is really the tip for this number 3. I hope these tips help you. Most importantly, if you want to really perform it, think about it as a whole. Remember, Bartok wrote this as an arrangement of traditional folk dances, and they still need to keep that sense of fun, folkiness that this music has. So don't forget what this music comes from. They're dances. Some of them are really fun, some of them are more interesting in their harmonies, some of them are really fast, like the last ones. So listen really carefully to many different versions and find your own after that. So hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like the video if you're still here, and subscribe, and so that you don't miss any more videos like this. Thank you.